Hello, and welcome back to Strangetown. When I made the previous hood tour, I promised that I would do a sort of catch-up video, what has happened in a while, and now it's been a sim week. When I filmed this the last time, it was Monday week 2, and now it is Monday week 3. So as you can see on the map, quite a few things have happened since last time. And there's quite a few things to go through, so buckle in. I think it's going to be a long one. So if you just take a look at the map to start out, you can go back a bit in time and check how things looked the previous time we were here. So this area was sort of prepared and built out a little bit, but these two houses were not built yet. Otherwise, it looked pretty much the same as it does now, actually. And of course, we had the Beaker house and these two lots. I have gone ahead and renovated this one, but this one is yet to be done. This also looked the same with the Curious house and the Smith house, but then this part was completely unbuilt, and quite a lot of things have happened in this area, the more modern part of town. And then this side was also unfinished back then, but I have gone ahead and renovated this house now as well as built another one down here. So if you go back to the game, you can see the difference. And last time I did this, I sort of went through some of the families in hood view to give you a quick overview, and then went into detail level on other households. I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm going to actually bring you down to each and every household to show you what it looks like, but maybe not go into as much detail in some of them. So let's see how I do, if I can manage that. I tend to get into the nitty and gritty if I allow myself. So let's see what happens. But yeah, before I start with that part, I wanted to go in and show you this community lot, and let's start there. So this is 88 Road to Nowhere, and this is a community lot that I have played a lot on as it was unrenovated, without the roads or anything. But then I sort of had enough and finally sat down and rebuilt this. So it's almost the same functionality as it was originally, but a little bit spruced up, you could say. So this building here on the side is still a clothing store. Going down here, we can see that we have basically the same things as before. It's just doesn't have an upstairs area with computers anymore. So it's just a clothing store here. And then on the back of this, we still have the parking lot, but it's functional now. So when my Sims arrive, they actually park up here. And then I have this decorative parking slots that spawns cars as well. So it's being populated. This little house in the middle became a small chapel. So it's, somewhere for them to just say a quick praise, I suppose. So I'm going to have a church as well as a graveyard later on. It's not built yet, but that's going to be something I'm working on soon, I think. So this is sort of a smaller chapel in the middle of town, basically. But it's going to be different. So I'm not going to host any weddings or anything like that here. Of course, Sims could have private sermons here if they wanted to. But yeah, it's not meant to be anything like that. And this is what it looks like with everything on it. And there's some seating and decoration around here as well. And then this huge building at the back that used to be this very strange pool is now instead a gym. So I decided not to have a pool at all here. I could have, but since there is another lot that's almost completely a pool, then I decided that that's good enough. Let's just make this a gym with a proper changing room area as well. And then in the middle here, we have a sort of square with a huge fountain. And then we have this food store on the side that's actually also doubling as a cafe, you could say. So I have this board here that they can use to order food as well, the menu board. And then, a barista station here. So they can sit and eat and have coffee. And of course, they can also buy groceries here on the other side. So it looks pretty much the same in essence as it did when I renovated it, but a bit modernized, I suppose. And speaking of community lots, I've actually gone ahead and set up some businesses for my Sims now as well. I haven't made any schools yet. That's coming up soon, I think. I have that prepared already here, the elementary school, high school, and the daycare. But they're not built yet, so that's something I aim to do very soon. However, I did in the previous episode show you that I had started to make a military base, and it's actually up and running now, as well as 2 other businesses down here in the modern area. So I have the Strangetown General Hospital, and I also have the Curious Labs and Research Inc. So that's 2 other community lots that I have set up and use for playing active careers. So I'm gonna continue on this by showing you the families that own these businesses and also what the community lots look like. The first business, the science facility, is owned by Vidkund Curious, and he lives in this house with his wife, Holly. And this is a household that I only showed you in Hood View last time. It's, they don't have a very dramatic storyline, so I think that might be why. But they live a very happy life here together with their 2 children. And this is what their house looks like. We have an entrance here, small bathroom, and just a living room with a bunch of sciencey stuff here. And a kitchen, a fairly new addition, a pool. Actually, their son is interested in fitness, so I felt like it was necessary to add that for him. And I'm thinking about maybe making some sort of research room out of the garage because they already have their 2 cars parked outside. So this is a sort of work in progress still. And then upstairs we have their bedroom and a couple of bedrooms for their children and also some furniture for the 3rd one that's on the way as well. And Holly's hobby is arts and crafts, so that's sort of her hobby area as well. So I think last time that I showed you this, actually the house was just this, I think. And then upstairs they just had this, I'm pretty sure. But I've extended it with the garage and these rooms here as well. So maybe we should take a look at their story book here. That's something that I've been doing a lot in this neighborhood, taking a lot of snapshots and adding them into their family albums. It's been really fun. So this is actually back from when Holly and her little sister Barbara lived together in one of the apartments before Barbara moved to the university, of course. And then this is a picture of when Vidkund proposed to Holly on the rooftop of the Curious household with a very nice view as well. They got married in the garage of her apartment before they moved, so I had a lot of party guests squeezed in here in the garage. And then upstairs they of course had the wedding party, and then they had moved into this house actually when Holly got pregnant for the first time. And this is when their first child, Sivert, was born. And this is when Holly taught him to walk, Vidkund taught him to talk, and then Holly got pregnant again. And they had their second child, their daughter, Cattle. It's also a sciencey name. It's just a family picture of them eating. And this is actually a picture that I took recently from the science facility. So we have Vidkund sitting here observing AJ as he's working in the, whatever that is called, that machinery. And little Sivert is playing. And Holly is painting, of course, and she started to teach cattle to walk as well. And that is their story so far. So not very dramatic at all, this family, as I said. But yeah, let's have Vidkund go to his community lot so I can show you that as well. And here is the science facility. So I modeled it off sort of a mix between the science facility that I have in my Pleasant View and also the Curious house, you know, with these towers and everything. So I have the same thing here with some telescopes up here that they can use if they're here at night for some reason. And yeah, so this is where you come in. We start at the ground floor here. We have this entrance hall here with an elevator and then Tom's clothing tester. That's a spawnable object that I use to get them into their work outfits. So that's in the stairwell here as well. There's a sitting area for any guests that arrive. And I also have a little sitting room here with the coffee machine for any guests that is going to be interested in the science facility, maybe some funding or something like that. And then also a little meeting room here as well, that both that the workers can use, but also for any meetings like that. And then I have a big room for just a lunch area where they can microwave some TV dinners and have for lunch. And going out here, I have a little Zen garden that I think Laszlo worked on last time. So it's already raked up. We have a sort of a work room here, a testing room. That's where the picture came from that you saw earlier. And then there's a bathroom here, and we have a little lab here where they can craft medicine, and that's actually medicine that they're going to sell to the hospital as well. So I have the same thing set up in this hood that I have for my Pleasant View as well. So right here we have AJ sitting working on some medicine that Vidkund is going to get into his inventory. And they also have the possibility to work on some robotics here as well. And in the room to the right here, we have a little plantable garden area. These are just used for decoration because I figured out that the lighting was so strong with the lighting mods that I use. So they're just sitting there doing nothing right now. But I have these planting pots with some cucumbers now that they're going to do some tests on later. And yeah, that is, of course, Chloe, who is employed as a scat master right now. So she's also working at the science facility. And she's in this big greenhouse here with a domed ceiling. That's pretty cool. And she's hunting bugs right now. But she has some trees here that she can look after as well. And then moving up to the second floor, we have sort of the landing area, what I should call it, for the elevator and the staircase, and another bathroom. And then they have a sort of workroom with computers and also these microscopes. So this is where Laszlo is currently sitting, working. And then also we have this sort of foundation for the towers here as well. So if I go up a few levels, we have different parts where they can walk. If they walk up this staircase and over this path, then they come up to Vidkund's office here, where he can also meet people if he wants. But now he's just sitting working. And then there's a sort of the library area here where he can relax and read, work on some logic skill as well. And then, of course, if I continue up more levels, we have this tower here with a telescope. And then this is a little bit higher as well for the second telescope. So this is what I use for my active science career. And as I mentioned, it's basically the same as it is in my Pleasant View Let's Play series. So if you're curious about how to play an active science career, then I suggest that you pop onto that series and watch what I've done over there. So yeah, that was the science facilities. So let's move over to the next one. So across from the park of the Curious family, we have the Walton family. And this is actually a family that I showcased the last time I did this tour, so I don't have to go into much detail here. But some things have changed here. The eldest son has moved to university, and we have Jesse, the second son, who has grown into a teenager. And then, also Renee and Gary have had 2 kids as well. So that's Dominic and Henry. So they live here, and I think that the house looks pretty much the same as it did when we were last here. I think almost exactly the same, actually. So no changes there. And taking a look in the album here, just clicking past all the things that you've already seen. I think that this was the last picture from last time, so that was their wedding. And after that, Gary taught the little toddler to walk, and also Renee has started to try to get closer to her stepchildren. They have been a bit on the fence with her, though. As I mentioned previously, they did not agree with their father remarrying. And that's actually something that has annoyed me a little bit, that the children are always throwing a fit when their parents remarry. In this case, they don't really interact at all with their mother, so I don't feel like it makes sense story-wise. And that was something that I pointed out in my recent Pleasant View episode, when Hazel got really furious with Ivy when she kissed her new husband. And after that video, I was actually recommended a mod that has completely resolved that issue for me. I think I had tried it in the past and it hadn't worked for me, but for some reason it worked this time. So I can recommend that if you are also having the same issue. It's called the Romance mod, and it's a bit tricky to find, I think. So I'll leave a link to it in the video description in case you also want to use a mod to solve that issue. So at the start of their relationship, Renee wasn't very successful with interacting with Gary's boys, but I hope that that will change now moving forward. And yeah, of course, Amin and Buck had their first kiss together. So that was very sweet down in the living room. Jesse interacted here with the eldest of the loner boys, befriending him. And then they had their second baby. And Jesse and Gary enjoy playing soccer together. So this is a picture of them doing that. Just a family dinner picture. Gary is a family sim, so he wanted to teach the little boy to walk. And then this is a bit fun. So actually, Luna Curious, and that is Pascal's daughter with the alien pollination technician. That's sort of the unborn curious child in that household when you start the game. She is actually going steady with Jesse. So they have hit it off really well together. And it's a very cute relationship that I hope will last when they are young adults as well. But let's see what happens. Yeah, here they are sitting cuddling in the couch, and Amin is looking unimpressed in the background there. Yeah, and they've also been out on dates and such at the new community lot, or well, new, but the newly renovated one, that is. So that's mostly what's been going on here. And he got the pleasure ambition. So let's see what happens with him. But yeah, so Gary is actually the owner of the hospital. He's a specialist. So yeah, let's go with him to the hospital and see what that looks like. And this is the hospital right next to the science facility. That's right here. So here we have this big car park, and this is Gary's car. So it's sitting at the end here. And there's 2 entrances. There's one entrance here where they can go in with the ambulance and everything. And then there's the main entrance here. So going down to ground floor, This works pretty much the same as my Pleasant View one does, but it's a bit bigger. I think it's like twice the size or something. So if you come in here to the right, there's a pharmacy that's up and running. And this is also where I'm gonna be selling the actual medicine on this shelf here once that's done. So everything here right now is just decorative. And I have an employee, Kathy McCaw, who is working here. And I'm switching between the different tasks for her. So right now she's a cashier. And then on the side here we have the waiting room. And this is where I have my nurse, Marissa St. Julian, working. So she's a randomized townie that I made playable for a specific reason. So you'll meet her a little bit later. But she's sitting here, and I've actually screened off both this and also this with an invisible gate. So not everyone can access behind the counters here. Moving this way, there's a bathroom. So there's one for women and one for men. And going this way, I actually have set up sort of a restaurant here with a menu board again, and then also a working barista. So this is Abby Collin, who is not playable, but one of the sort of regular townies that I have here. So this is where she's working right now and where they can go and have lunch as well. But I figured that if it's a hospital, normally there is some sort of cafeteria where the guests can go and eat in between visiting their friends and family. Then here we have a lab, you could say, or operation room, maybe is better. So here I have Cersei working on the operation table right now. And then we also have Stella Terrano here sitting and observing and working with Cersei right now as well. And then going upstairs with the elevators or staircases here, I have some rooms for anyone who's admitted to the hospital, basically. So if I have any Sims who are very ill, they can come here and rest on the beds while the doctors look after them. And going over to the other side here, this is where I have some more work rooms. So this is a sort of physiotherapy room, you could say. And I have circled this treadmill with an invisible fence because otherwise all of the visitors is going to flock to this. So since they can't access it, it's just decorative now. And here we have Bella Goth working on Matthew's back, I guess. And in this room, we have Abhijit Shaw working as well on something or other. And I think that we didn't meet him in person last time, but of course, we're gonna catch up with his household eventually. And then this is sort of an office room for hosting meetings and having coffee. Personnel room, I guess I should say. This is where Gary and Holly is sitting, chatting right now as well. And that is, the hospital, actually. And similarly to what I mentioned with the science facility, if you're curious about how to play an active hospital career, I'd recommend checking out my Pleasant View series, where I actually do it. I haven't started to make my Sims sick yet, so I think that's coming up now in week 3, now that I have the hospital actually up and running. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see who gets sick and everything around that. All right, well, we've got one active business to go, so let's pop on to the next household. And of course, the owner of the military base is none other than Buzz Grant. Who else? So last time we were here, he was not living alone. He had a wife and children at home. Buck was living at home as well. Now he's all alone. And that's, of course, all his own fault. As I mentioned in the previous video, Buzz isn't a very nice person and he tends to hurt the people that he loves. And that is exactly what happened that left him in this state as well. So something that has become sort of a struggle for me when I play this household is keeping him happy because his social goes down a lot. Probably it has to do with him being a popularity sim. Maybe it has to do with his personality. Yeah, he's pretty outgoing, so I guess that might have something to do with it. But yeah, let's start by just checking out the house because I think I didn't show you this properly last time. So this is the downstairs with the living room and of course Buzz's fish tank that has to be there. And we have the sort of the long dining hall here and a kitchen, a small bathroom, and then yeah, this little bedroom. It's very not decorated now. Margaret brought a lot of the decorations with her when she moved out here. And then upstairs, the layout is fairly similar to what it was originally here with the different bedrooms like this. But yeah, they have a computer, or he has a computer, I should say, upstairs. And then there, this room is just a gym where he can work out to his heart's content. So yeah. And taking a look at his family album, sort of what happened after we left him last time. I think probably this picture was the last one that I showed you. So that's Margaret all happy with her newborn baby daughter, Scout. And yeah, she taught her little son to talk and started to teach little Scout to walk when she became a toddler. And then the descent into madness began. When little Evan had grown up into a child, that was when Buzz started to get pissed off at basically everything that he did. And it started out with small things. You know, he forgot to make his bed. Then he was scolded. He didn't put away all of the toys once he was done playing. Then he got scolded. But sort of the last straw was when he broke the shower downstairs. That made Buzz flip out completely. And yeah, he just sort of had it with this kid. We have some pictures here from the military base in between. Of course, he was still working. But yeah, so he sort of attacked little Evan. And that made Margaret completely flip out. And she attacked Buzz in turn, and it became a big fight. And I was sort of sitting there biting my nails because, you know, what with Buzz's history and everything, his temper, I wasn't sure what was going to happen to Margaret if he actually ended up kicking her butt. I wasn't sure if she was going to survive or not. But actually, in the end, she ended up kicking his butt, thankfully. I mean, she's an athletic star, and he is, I guess, an old man now, even if he's still very fit. But she ended up succeeding, and she took her children and left him after that. Of course, he's a very influential man with a lot of connections, so nothing came of it. He's still living here, and he's still trying to connect with his daughter, Scout. But yeah, Scout really doesn't like him anymore. Margaret has put a stop to that. And yeah, so he's not in connection with her anymore either. So he's been very lonely in this house, as this is well deserved. And yeah, he has basically just been connecting with either the people who work at the military base or his son, Tank. He's not interacting with the Rip. He hasn't been connecting very much with Buck either. So yeah, Tank is his only true connection with family right now, I would say. So yeah, he's been hanging out with him a bit. Tank isn't living with him though, because I specifically wanted to allow Tank to sort of form into his own person, because I was afraid that if I would move Tank into this household at once, even if that is sort of the end goal, of course, but if I would do it at once, he would have sort of just adapt to his father's personality, I think. That was my fear anyway. So he actually is living somewhere else right now. So yeah, we'll get to him later as well. So yeah, that's what's happened to Buzz. And yeah, that's all I can say about him, pretty much, I think. So yeah, let's have him go to his community lot as well. So this is where the military works in my town. So it's a very, high security building, of course. So there's a lot of chicken wire fence and things like that around. And also when they pull in with their cars to park over there, they also drive past this sort of security building at the front. A lot of keep out signs, things like that here. And then there's some military trucks on the side here, and a big hangar building or something, what you should call it, with a bunch of weapon boxes and things. And then there's just a decorative helicopter here and some military workout equipment that the tank is currently slaving away at here in his flip-flops apparently. Oh well. And of course there's a hose that they can hose each other down with if necessary. And then going into the actual building, this is where they come in, and there's a small bathroom here. There's a gym where Lawson is currently working out. And then there's a sort of small interrogation room here, if they need that for some reason. It's also keep out signs here. And then there's the cafeteria here, where they can have some more TV dinners, of course. And then upstairs, there's a sort of reception area with some lockers and stuff. Another bathroom. This is an office room where we have Caitlin Goss currently scanning for fingerprints. They can also use the computers, of course, to work. There's a meeting room here with a huge TV as well. We have General Buzz's office here, where he's currently sitting and working. And then there's another office in here where we have Joel Tano, who was previously Joel Jeffress. Yeah, so that's what this looks like, and it runs pretty much the same as my other active businesses. I focus a lot on, working on their physical activities and, well, of course, their relationships, and a lot of working at home with the Monique's computer as well. So yeah, that was the last of the active businesses. So let's move on over back to the neighborhood. All right, so the families we visited so far lives here. This is the Curious household. We have the Walton household over here. And then the Grant household down there. And of course, the military base is right there. The science facility is here, and the hospital is there. So let's continue on with the households. And let's start with Margaret to see where she ended up after she split from General Buzz. And yeah, she lives down here in the modern district. So this is her house. It is very similar to my renovation of 73 Road to Nowhere. That house is coming up a bit sooner though, so this is just similar to it. So what I've done with this is that I have made some roof pieces here that have windows in them, and then you can look down from the sort of the balcony or rooftop area here down into the living room on this side, and then into the kitchen on this side instead. And then going down here, we have the entrance here, and then a small bathroom. We have Scout's bedroom. This is where she's lying and sleeping. This is a living room. And of course, Margaret's hobby is fitness, so she has her working out equipment there as well. Then in here we have Evan's bedroom. And going this way instead, this is the kitchen where Margaret is standing. And this is Margaret's bedroom. And then they have some stuff around here as well. So yeah, Margaret is an MVP in the athletic career. So she's moved up a little bit since last time. And taking a look at her story, of course, she married Buzz in the beginning of things. And then she had Little Scout. She has basically the same story here as Buzz with how they fought and everything. And this is once they have actually moved out. And this is her and Scout in the living room, and Scout has the game hobby, so she's gaming a bit here on the side. Evan has the tinkering hobby actually, so he's playing here with his toy helicopter. And yeah, they were working on some homework, and this is actually Rip, who has connected a bit with Margaret over what has happened between her and Buzz. And he's very supportive of her and has bonded a bit with Little Scout, his sister as well. So Rip has sort of stepped up into the older brother role here and is watching Little Scout sometimes when Margaret has to go to work or similar. And then actually Margaret has had a little fling with a married man. So she's very much into romance. She still has a relationship with Abhijit Show, but she also sees other men on the side of that. So she's a bit naughty like that. This is her and Gerard Aritz. And then, last time I played was Sunday, so she had to go to work. And then Abhijit actually came over to watch his son. And that was actually the first time they met. So that was pretty sweet as well. They got along really, really well. So I was happy about that. As for Margaret, I think that she's pretty pleased with just being alone for now. She has some people here that she thinks is attractive, but I mean, they're either already married in relationships or too young for her. So I think that I'm gonna have to just let her stay like this for now. Just look after her kids, maybe see Gerard and Abhijit on the side. She's actually lost all bolts with him for some reason. I don't know what's happened. I've had that actually happen a little bit recently with the attraction going down a lot. And then when they meet again, they're like, oh my God, this team is so attractive. So I don't know, maybe my game is resetting some things. But yeah, so she's gonna keep working up in her career, I think. And that's where she's gonna be happy to be for now. Across the road, we have this house that is owned by the Tano family. So we have Joel Tano and his wife Stella, who is now an adult and actually the mother of two. So some things have happened since last time. She graduated with highest grades, and she's now working in the medical field, as we saw. So this is a pretty unusual house from what I have built so far, but I really like it. So let's start by the entrance here. So this is a big room just immediately when you come in. And this is the kitchen area. And then we have Stella and Joel's bedroom here. We have one bedroom for their youngest daughter, Lyra, and one for their eldest daughter, Nova. And then we have their bathroom here. And then going up the stairs, they actually have a second room here, or a sort of living room space, you could say. So it's within the roof. So that's been a bit fun to play around with. So yeah, this has been a pretty nice and sweet and calm family actually to play with. We have Joel, who's sort of a military man who is also an author on the side of that. And then we have Stella, who is very much into dance. So taking a look at their family album, this is just a picture from when they got engaged back at Joel's old apartment. And this is when they have just gotten married and moved into their new house. And this is upstairs where Stella is playing her guitar and Joel is reading, just doing hobby stuff. And there Stella is dancing. And yeah, they are getting along well, and Stella got pregnant eventually. And she gave birth to their first daughter. And then, yeah, some time passed, and well, something that I mentioned in the previous video could happen because I sort of have my own gameplay rules for Strangetown, is that an alien can impregnate any sim. So actually, Joel became pregnant the second time, not Stella. So that was pretty fun. I was actually rolling dice when they were woohooing for both. So 1d10 for Stella first, and then a second one for Joel. And he ended up becoming pregnant by chance, like the day after his first daughter was born. So it was pretty dramatic all of a sudden. Yeah, so this is him cuddling his daughter while pregnant. And here he has just given birth to the second daughter. And then the little girls started to grow up, and they've been really wholesome and sweet so far. So it's a really fun and cute family to play with, actually. I was considering if Joel was going to freak out about becoming alien pregnant all of a sudden. He is a sort of a military man after all, not a scientist. So I was sort of considering that option. But so far, he has been very sweet and doting father. So I think that he's fine with this. If it would happen again, let's see what will happen with this family. And in between the Howe family and the Tano family homes, we have my actual renovation of 73 Road to Nowhere. And yeah, it's pretty different from what it was originally, but I tried to keep the essence of what it looked like. So similarly to the other house that I showed you, you can see down into the living room through this window here, and down into the kitchen from this side. And yeah, we have Kristen Lost and her girls living here. So coming in, we have the entrance and a small bathroom to the left. And then here we have the living room and a small bedroom for her youngest daughter, Clover. And then here we have the kitchen, her own bedroom, and then the bedroom for her eldest daughter, and that is Lily. So we met Lily in the previous video. She was just a toddler back then, but now she's actually a child. And well, as I mentioned, Kristen was having a romance with Johnny Smith while he was at the university. And he was only just finishing up at university when I showed you this last. And my plan was that he was gonna move in here and they were gonna be a wholesome little family. And that was what I started out with. But Kristen is a lot older than him, and she was a very established adult, really, with a stable job and an experienced mother. And him moving into this household, he kind of freaked out a little bit. He couldn't handle all of a sudden being dropped into this situation and living in this new pre-decided life together with Kristen, who he had sort of been together with for many years, but who he had never lived with before. And to go from sort of being a free student to a full-time dad was just too much for him. And he flipped out and actually ended up leaving this household. So if we take a look here at the family album, this is the first picture just of when Kristen lived together with the other girls in the collective. This is a picture of them when they were together, and the little picture of Lily when she was a toddler. And this is when Johnny had just moved in with them. His family came over and interacted with the little toddler, and this is when he left. So this is when Johnny just couldn't stand this. He had to get away, and he actually ended up moving in with his mother and father instead. So yeah, Kristen was left alone together with little Lily, And that was when she found out that she was actually pregnant again. So Johnny not only left her with his young daughter, he also left a little present for her as well. But Lily is into the arts and crafts hobby, so she's actually having her own little easel next to Kristen's. So they both have the same hobby, and that's been really cute, seeing them stand together painting. And this is when little Clover was born as well, working on some homework and painting next to each other. And little Clover is playing with her toddler toys and getting taught to walk. So yeah, this wasn't what Kristen had planned really. But yeah, now she's a single mother and she is working her way up in the athletic career. So she's been growing a little close with her neighbor, Margaret, who's in the same career path as well. Also a single mother, really. So they have a lot in common there. And yeah, they are sort of getting close and drawing strength from each other, I think. So that's been really sweet, despite it all. And speaking of Johnny, here we are in the Smith household. And this is, of course, where he is currently residing, in his boys' bedroom. So he's back here, sort of where he started. Back with mom and dad. And I've been struggling a little bit to try to figure out what Johnny's life is going to be about. And I think he's also been struggling a little bit to find his path. But I put him into the politics career. So he's currently a city council member working his way up there. He's been getting a lot of friends and been trying to focus on himself and been trying to live together with his parents again and how that all is turning out. So if we pop into the family album here, I think that this are pictures that I showed you last time with Jill before she moved out. And this is a picture of the three of them sort of working together in the hobby room. So that was pretty sweet. So we have Pollination Technician 9 sitting here and writing on his novel. We had Jill painting on the easel, and then Jenny sitting and sewing on her sewing machine. And Jill actually had her first kiss with Samuel Aritz after all. In her girl room. And they are actually still together at university. So their attraction to each other has also increased quite a bit. So we're going to meet up with them later. And while Jill was a teenager, she was actually also hanging out a bit with Abhijit Show. She didn't have a lot of friends or exciting things going on around her. So she started to look for other romance sims around the hood and ended up befriending him a bit awkwardly as a teenager. So she had a bit of a crush on him while she was still young. And then something very, very strange happened. So while I was playing this family, sort of just minding my own business, Chloe marched through the doors, didn't greet anyone. She just walked up to the bar and grabbed a drink and sat there for hours, just drinking glass after glass. And yeah, Pollination Technician sort of just sat there with her, staring at her, like, what are you doing? So something very strange must have happened to Chloe. And at first I couldn't figure out what this was all about, what had happened, because things appear to be very normal for her in her life. But then I figured out that Chloe is probably pretty similar to her father, and she has certain alien urges that she has inherited from him that she can't shake. And as she's grown older, those have become more apparent. Like she has started to have thoughts about abducting other Sims and wanting to spread her genes across the neighborhood to other Sims. And of course, she's a romance Sim, so that comes pretty natural to her anyway. But yeah, she has been having those kinds of thoughts. And taking that into consideration, I ended up, after this all had happened, I ended up making her a little bit more fertile. So when I would normally roll a d10 to decide if a woohoo resulted in a pregnancy or not, For her, I actually rolled a d6 instead. And well, we're gonna meet up with Chloe later to see the results of that. Yeah, these two have sort of been minding their own business here, just being cute together. And yeah, of course, Johnny being Johnny, he has invited people over for parties and such. This was actually Pollination Technician 9's and Jenny's golden anniversary, though. So this was their party. And yeah, as I mentioned, I've been trying to figure out what to do about Johnny, and I've been looking around the hood for any new potential romantic interests for him. Haven't found anyone, so I ended up just picking out one of the student townies that he met at La Fiesta Take. She's called Elise Sentowski, I think, but I think that's a randomized name. So he's been, going on dates with her, and let's see where that relationship ends up. They actually ended up having a bit of fun in the hot tub last time I played, so let's see what happens. So there actually wasn't any pre-made Strangetown sims or townies that I could match him with. So yeah, let's see what happens with Elise, if that sticks or not. Moving on to the next family, we have Tank Grant living together with his roommate Blair Loner. So this is an apartment lot that I built in the modern part of town with the hospital and the science facility right close by. And these are actually apartments that have connected parking spaces. So these doors that you see here lead out to these parking slots. So I think maybe this is Blair's car. So this is their parking space for this apartment. So this is one of 3 families that I have living here, and they live on the bottom floor here. So this is their apartment, and this is just a mirrored house next to it, so it's the same, just in the opposite direction. There's a pool down here for use as well, and if we go upstairs, we have more apartments. There's actually 6 apartments in total here, and here we have a gym at the top, and next to it there's a sort of a playroom with some games and such that they can use. So as I mentioned with Buzz, I wanted to move Tank in to his own apartment or residence and play him besides his father, because I felt like I would risk making him too similar to his dad otherwise. So that's why he's living here together with Blair after they have graduated from college, and they have been advancing in their careers, having parties, and been going on dates here in this apartment. So it's been nice so far. And so if you go into the album, we have them working out at the gym here. So Tank actually has the sports hobby, so he likes using the punching bag. And here Tank is chatting with his neighbor, that is Almeric Davis. And here he's flirting with Vicky Aritz, who he used to go out together with. So she aged up from a teenager into a young adult, and she's currently at the university. And well, they were hitting it off at first, but then she met someone else. So unfortunately, Tank has been left alone after she broke up with him. Not that they were really going out, but they had been going out on dates and such. So too bad for Tank. They even had his first kiss, so it's a bit sad, actually. And then Blair has hit it off with Kendall Lawson. So this is them flirting a bit and also having their first kiss out on the patio. And they eventually moved that to the bedroom as well. And so I have actually been looking around, similarly to Johnny. I've been looking around for Tank for a romantic interest. Haven't found one, and ended up matching him together with one of the townies that he met at La Fiesta Tech. So I don't know if you remember that from the previous video, but I mentioned that the only person that Tank was the least bit interested in was a random Nancy. Well, this is that random Nancy. So I've actually gone ahead and aged her up into an adult and just made her a normal townie. Same thing with Elise as well. So let's see what happens, if this is something that is gonna stick or not. But at least Tank has someone, so that makes me feel a little bit better at least. So I think that Tank is gonna stay here for a few more days at least before I probably eventually moves him in together with his father, because that's just sort of what I have in the books for him. And in the other apartment building, we have Tank's brother, Rip, living. So he's also on the bottom floor here in his own apartment. So he doesn't have a roommate, unlike his brother. And this apartment looks like this. So this room is just empty for now. And he has his bedroom in here with a nice hula dancer here. And just the living room space and the kitchen area. And then the bathroom. And he does not have a car, but he could use this parking space if I wanted. So last time we met dear little Rip, he was at the university and he was actually going steady with Tina Andrews. And I actually had him set as a hopeless romantic sim who only had eyes for his girlfriend, and things were just so sweet and wholesome. And of course, as soon as my back was turned, Rip flirted with, or well, rather was flirted with. So Tiffany walked up to him and started flirting with him, and Tina became so pissed off. She was so furious, and she broke things off with Rip, not looking back at all, and actually, like the next day, found a new boyfriend. So Rip has been left alone here. He's not a hopeless romantic anymore. He doesn't believe in romance anymore. He has lost that sort of bright-eyed innocence. He is fleshed out romance sim now and is doing nothing else than just meeting girls and going out on dates. So this is a picture of him and Tina as teenagers, and then also with Tiffany. And then now he's actually also been seeing Jill, who is a young adult. So she's aged up now and is also going out on dates and meeting people. He has also been seeing Daisy, the romance sim, who is just a randomized townie that I moved in together with Chloe Curious previous to this. And he's also actually been seeing his neighbor's girlfriend that we'll meet soon. So yeah, he's really been living his bachelor life here and has been taken up an employment in the journalism career. So yeah, let's see what's in the books for Rip, really. He's still having this want to reach golden anniversary. So I think that deep down in his heart somewhere, there's the thought of finding his true match sometime in future. But for now, he's just sort of enjoying dating his way around the neighborhood. And then the third family living in this apartment complex is Almeric Davis and his girlfriend, Marissa St. Julian, who we saw at the hospital as well. And they live here in this apartment together with their little daughter, Audrey. So it looks pretty similar to the previous apartments that we've taken a look at. But yeah, they have this little room going down into the stairwell, and this is the way out to the parking space. And of course, that's surrounded with an invisible fence. So that's how I sort of connect it to the apartment. So, well, at the start of this, actually, Almeric and Aldrich were living together in this apartment, and that was sort of my idea, that they would live here together for a while and sort of establish themselves. That didn't really work out the way that I had planned it. They had a nice party with the people that they had been going to college with here, hanging out and getting along well. And yeah, Almeric met Marissa around the same time, so he started to see her go out on dates, and they had a woohoo, and I rolled a d10, and it landed on 1. So she was still a townie at that point, and I hadn't planned on ever making her playable, really. So she became pregnant, and I sort of had to move her in, and I haven't been completely happy about that, because even though she's sweet and everything, she isn't that fun to play, unfortunately. She's one of those sims that sort of, when you move them in and start playing them, you don't really look forward to meeting them again. Not that they're bad or anything, but they're just not your favorite sims. So she became pregnant, and well, back then Aldrich still lived together with them as well. She gave birth to Audrey, and this is Almeric and Aldrich at the gym. Now that I have renovated that lot, and he's interacting with Genesis Lamb, who actually became Aldrich's girlfriend. So he's living with her now instead of with his brother. So that was another relationship that went pretty quickly as well. But yeah, this is Almeric playing around with his little daughter. And well, he became a father very quickly and has had to sort of adapt to that lifestyle. So he's a popularity sim, and his secondary is pleasure, I think. So that really wasn't what he sort of had in mind for his young adult, or the start of his adult life, that is. So I've actually gone ahead and started to push another plot line forward with this family, just because I haven't really been able to bond a lot with Marissa. So as you saw in the previous household with Rip, she has been seeing him secretly on the side. And at first I thought that maybe I would have like a unfaithfulness drama going on. But then I decided that no, actually, it's going to be more fun for me, I think, to have her get pregnant with Rip. So that is already done. She now carries little Rip Jr. in her belly. And my plan is for her to unfortunately pass away after she has given birth. That's sort of my thoughts process right now, at least. That might change when it actually comes down to it, but that's what I think is going to happen. She's going to catch some sort of pregnancy-related disease and pass away. And I also actually want her to name Almeric the father, so that once she's gone, he's going to think that it is his child. Unless he takes a genetics test for some reason in future, he's never going to find out then. So that's sort of the sad and unfortunate plotline that I have started up with this family. And I think that that's going to bring a little bit more interest into this family when I play them as well. Sometimes you just have to force the plotline to get things moving, I guess. So yeah, that became a bit dark, but I think that that's going to be the best for this family in this case, and it's going to allow me to explore Almeric's character a bit more as well. So from one apartment building to the next, we're here in the military part of town with Genesis Lamb and Aldrich Davis. So this is where they live together. And of course, little Faith Lamb is living here with her mother. And of course, her father isn't Aldrich, it's Nervous Subject, or Nero Spectre as he's called now. So this is what their apartment looks like. And this is the downstairs. So we have this sort of music room, because both the Genesis and the Aldrich has the music hobby. So taking a look at their family album, of course, Genesis started out in the Beaker cellar together with Nero, being tortured and all kinds of things there. And well, she lost all memories of Nervous after he met the Grim Reaper and all of that happened that I explained last time. So she actually moved in here alone in this apartment together with little Faith, and this is her taking care of her alone. Only Faith actually had memories left of Nero at that time. And this is her teaching her to walk and taking care of her. And it wasn't long until Aldrich, who had aged up into an adult at that point, met Genesis at the community lot, and this is their first date, I think, when they were just meeting up. And they hang out down in her living room with all the music stuff behind them. And well, Genesis being a single mother, she had to go to work and support her daughter. So I had one of the teenagers in town come over and babysit while she was away. So this is Cameron. And the only way that you can make this happen is actually to have two different mods. One of them is one that disables the social worker, really, that allows you to leave the kids completely alone. And then the second one is a mod that allows Sims to treat each other as family. So that made it possible for me to make Cameron treat little Faith as her family, so she could actually properly interact with her, just being selectable on the lot while Genesis was away working. So yeah, I actually had Genesis send over some money with Monique's computer to Cameron once she was done as well. So she actually got paid for that service as well. So Faith and Cameron has a pretty good relationship now as well. So that's pretty sweet. And yeah, these two got along really well. And then something really, really strange happened. So actually the first thing that happened was that while I was playing Abhijit Show, who lived in the apartment right next to this one, like wall in wall with this one, Nero all of a sudden floated onto the lot and into his apartment randomly, looking furious. And he just floated over to this wall, right next to the apartment where his daughter lived, and just sort of hung out here by this wall, fuming, until I had Abhijit go up and greet him, and they sort of interacted a little bit. That was really random. And after that, I kept seeing Nero just floating past this lot over and over again when I was playing the different families living here. And eventually, at the same time as Genesis came home from work, I think it was, he happened to float past, and their eyes met. And this was when I snapped the picture. And after that, I couldn't just let this go. I just figured that, okay, Genesis has seen him. She has gotten all her memories back from what has happened. And yeah, Nero was invited in and actually met his daughter for the first time. So they were reunited. And well, of course, this is a completely horrible thing for Genesis to remember, although remembering Nero really fills in a lot of blanks, of course, for her. Yeah, of course, it's a very traumatic experience, so he hasn't been over a lot. Faith has actually been sneaking over to his place, so we're gonna see that a bit later. And after that, Faith really wanted a cat, so she got this little dude that she's been bonding a lot with. And this is Cameron coming over again to babysit while she and Aldrich was at work. And they've been hanging out, playing together down there. And eventually, they actually happened to become pregnant as well. And that was because I rolled a number 1 on my D10 die. So that wasn't what I had planned either, that it was gonna be so quick. But yeah, that's sort of the fun of rolling dice as well, that things like this can pop up out of nowhere. So they've actually had their little son together now, and I ended up naming him Ortus. So Genesis is employed as a lounge singer, and I actually have her stuck at that job. She's been wanting to join the music career for a very long time, but I ended up putting her in this career because that was the only one that was available on the computer when I had her look for a job. And I kind of think it fits with her that she is a lounge singer. And maybe if I build a lounge somewhere in town, I can have her come over and actually perform a bit as well. So that would be fun. And Aldrich was actually also in the music career after he graduated. But I've been looking into making those active school lots, and I've been trying to figure out what Sims could join the education career. And I couldn't really see a big future for Aldrich in the music career in Strangetown because it's so remote. And I kind of felt like, well, he was aiming for the music career, but he wasn't talented enough to break through, or well, he wasn't lucky enough, you could say maybe. So he ended up changing out his career now that he actually has a child to support as well. So that was sort of what pushed him into changing career paths and getting something a bit more sustainable. So he's going to be the high school teacher for the high school in town. So that's what's in future for him. And so far, he isn't getting along that well with Faith. They sort of, I've been trying to push them together, but they haven't really agreed a lot with each other. So we're gonna see what happens with that relationship down the line. I mean, of course, Alric and Genesis are gonna focus a lot on their new baby now. So it might be that Faith gets a bit put to the side. Yeah, so let's see. Maybe she ends up bonding a lot more with her father in the end of this. Then in the apartment right next to them, we have Tina Andrews living alone right now. So this is her apartment. Have her bedroom and sort of kitchen and office space, and her telescope, of course, because she is science sim. And downstairs I have this set up as her living room. So as I mentioned with Rip, she used to be together with him, but that is not so anymore because of what happened. So of course this is back when they were teenagers and had their first kiss. But actually Tina met someone else when Rip wasn't seeing eye to eye with her anymore. Well, when he was being unfaithful to her. And that is actually Edward Auerwitz. So that is the eldest of the Auerwitz children. So she's currently just waiting for him to graduate from college, and then she wants to get married to him. So in the family album, I have sort of combined both of them into one. So this is actually when he had his first kiss with Barbara instead. And this is when they got together over at the university. And they've actually been hanging out a bit here. And this is a picture of her just being into science as she is. And this is last time when I played when she popped the question and he accepted it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having that wedding coming up between them as well. So Tina actually wants to become education minister. So that's one of the very rare Sims in my neighborhood who wants to be in the education career. So I'm going to have her as the elementary school teacher. So she's going to own the elementary school lot and be the Sim that I use for that active career. So that's what I have in store for Tina. Moving across the road to some of the houses, we have the Beaker household here. That used to be the Lawson household. And this is where we have Erin Beaker. Now, the last time I showed you this, she was married to Johnson Lawson. And I was kind of naively saying that, you know, he's a hopeless romantic. He's only having eyes for his wife. He's a really wholesome Sim who doesn't seem to be the typical romance Sim. I was dead wrong. So a lot happened really fast in this household, actually, that I'm going to get right into soon. So let's just look at the house first of all. This is if we come in, the entrance with a small bathroom to the side here. There's a living room down here. And then this is the kitchen, very purple kitchen. I feel like that's Erin's style. And then going upstairs, this is the landing with some bedrooms for her 3 children. So this is another single mother in the neighborhood. There's quite a few of those households actually. This is the eldest son, Fion's bedroom. I think he was a baby when I showed you this last. And then, we also have Nuada and Muirn Beaker. So all of them are called Beaker in last name now, even though they were Lawson previous to this. And this is Erin's bedroom. Very pink and purplish. Just how she likes it. And of course, being a nature sim, she also has her greenhouse out back. So if you go ahead and take a look at her family album, this is the same picture that I've used in several other households, but this was back when she lived in the collective. And this was back when Johnson proposed to her and their wedding. Very sweet in the apartment lot that I showed you previous to this. I think it actually might even be the same apartment that Tina lives in now. And she became pregnant, had the first baby, and they moved into this house. And then, then it happened. So Tiffany started flirting with him, or well, rather, he started flirting with Tiffany. She was a young adult at that point, and he was playing as the perfect father figure in the household, and a lot of stuff were going on behind the scenes, of course. Erin and the Crystal Vu got really close. They are working in the same career, in the paranormal career, so they are colleagues, I think. And she became pregnant again and had their second baby. And then they got a visit from Tiffany, who showed up with a very big pregnant belly. And of course, Erin was furious at this. She was caught completely unaware and told Johnson to buzz off, leave the house and never come back. So she became a single mother, starting to raise her 2 sons, taking care of them. But wouldn't you know it, Johnson is a very suave man, I guess. He got back into Erin's good graces and they started seeing each other again. He's still not welcome into the house, but they are sort of seeing each other now. And their little son was very confused at what was going on here. But he actually was allowed back and helped teaching his kids to walk and, interacting a bit more with them, becoming the father figure again. And Erin actually became pregnant again with his 3rd child. So even though they're not married or anything anymore, they're still sort of kind of together, but not really. So let's see what happens with that. And of course, Erin is now taking care of her sons alone. So that's what is happening now. And I think, she doesn't have that many romantic interests besides this. She's having some thoughts about Aldrich, apparently, but he's way too young for her, I think, so that's not really feasible. I think that she's gonna probably stick with Johnson, despite it all. And I'm actually gonna try to focus a bit on her career, because down the line, I would like to make an active career for her and Crystal, some sort of medium business, maybe a way for people to matchmake, and meet other singles and go on dates. Maybe a way to communicate with the dead relatives, or something like that. I think would be interesting to explore with those 2 girls. Next to Erin Beaker's household, we have the Macaulay family, and that is Marion and Quinton, and their 3 children and 2 dogs. So Marion is a police officer in town. I don't have an active police career yet, but that is something that I want to do eventually. And then Quinton, I was considering if I wanted to have him work at the science facility, but then I decided that, Strangetown being such a sciencey town, I think that there's going to be a science teacher both at the elementary school and at the high school. So Quinton is actually going to be the science teacher for the elementary school kids. That's going to be fun to explore. And he's into gardening, so this is his greenhouse. And then Marion is into sports, so she likes playing soccer. And this is their house. So it looks fairly similar to the layout of the other houses around here, but this is the entrance with the two dogs. There's Penny and Dink, and Penny is actually Dink's mother. So there's another golden Labrador in town that she had puppies with recently. So she had Nancy and Dink with the other Labrador called Mickey. So this family kept one of the puppies, and the other puppy went to the other family with the other dog. And this is the living room. Have a bathroom downstairs, a kitchen, and then a garage. They haven't been able to afford cars yet, so this is just sitting empty. And then upstairs we have the bedroom for the parents, a bedroom for Horace, their middle child, who actually only just aged into a child. We have a bathroom up here as well. We have Sybil's bedroom, and I'm pretty sure that she was a toddler last time I showed you this, so she'll be a teenager soon. And then we have the newest addition to the family, that is little Austin. And I'm pretty sure I want that to be the last kid, so this is a very nice, sweet and wholesome family to play in between all the chaos with the other ones. So this is a picture from back when they got engaged. And they had another wedding down in a garage, actually. So Marion actually lived together as roommates with Margaret Howe at this point. So they had an apartment together. This is their wedding, and this is actually in this house back when Sybil was a toddler. And this is when Horace was born. And then we have some nice family pictures here. So as I said, this is just a really wholesome, sweet family that I can just sit down and relax with in between all of the chaos. On the other side of the road, we have the Shaw family, and they live right next to Vidkun Curious as well. So here is Matthew and Trista Shaw, and their 3 children who lives at home. That's John, Serena, and Sonia. And those 3 are all kids who were born in game as I was playing. But they also have 2 older kids, and that is David and Kana. And they are both at the university right now. So those were a teenager and a child townies that I made into their children when I started this up. So Matthew is a detective, also in the police career. So he would be working with Marion, if that becomes an active career at some point, which I hope. And then Trista is in the political career, so she's Johnny and Almeric's superior. And she's a romance sim, and is seeing a bit of people on the side, as normal romance sims do. And then we have John, who's a popularity sim, and then the twins as well. And they live in this house. So going down to the ground, we have the entrance here with a sort of living room space. And then the kitchen. We have a small bathroom downstairs, and then a connected garage with a treadmill as well in the corner. And then going upstairs, we have the landing here, a balcony out back. And then we have John's bedroom. And we have 1 bedroom each for the twins. And another bathroom, and this is the parents' bedroom. This was one of the families that I set up from the start to be one of the more wealthier ones. And they have had a lot going for them from the start. So this is back when John was taught to walk. This is a family picture. And then, the twins were taught their skills as well. They got a dog. And Kana, when she was living at home, she liked painting. And then some, just pictures of the children aging up, really. And then John is actually in a relationship with the neighbor's daughter. So that is Gracie Aurowitz, the youngest of their family. So we're going to meet her soon. So they actually happened to meet and hit it off really well, both born in game. So that was actually really fun to see. And another family dinner picture, the twins getting along. And just another cozy family actually to play with. But of course, Trista is spicing things up a little bit with her other romantic interests. So she's been seeing Abhijit and also Cooper Riley actually on the side. So that's a bit more fun. Next to the Shaw family, we have the Aurowitz family. And this is actually where the other two dogs are living. So this is the family that had Mickey. And they only have one child left living at home, but they have more children at the university, actually. So we have Edward only just finishing up. We have Vicky, who's sort of in the middle, I think, and then Samuel, who's only just started. And the parents are Gerard and Trista. So Trista is also in the political field, so she's very close friends with the other Trista. Actually, they are best friends, but also sort of competitors at work, I think. They have a love-hate kind of relationship to each other, I think. Rivals is a good word for it, I think. So she's very ambitious. And then we have Gerard, who is in the architecture career, working as a draftsman. And well, he is a secondary romance sim, and he has actually had a bit of a struggle with finding his wife attractive in the past. They've only just recently started to climb up a little bit, actually. I think that's because they've grown a bit closer recently. So now they have 2 bolts, but they used to have just 1 attraction bolt. And he's been a lot more interested in Margaret Howe, actually. So back when she was seeing Buzz Grant, she was rebutting all of his advances, wasn't interested in him at all. But after they broke things off, Gerard has been a lot more successful with Margaret, and he's now seeing her on the side as well. So that's the thing going on. So we take a look at the house here. This is one of the ones at ground level, not on the foundation. So they have a huge pool here as they come in, and the entrance with the dogs here. Apparently Mickey is thinking about Nero. Okay, I think that when dogs interact with him, I can't actually go in and make them forget him, because that's not available in the sim blender. So I think that pets are gonna remember Nero no matter what I do. But so this is the downstairs bathroom, and then they have the living room right here. And they have the kitchen here. And then a huge garage with 2 cars and the treadmill, and also Gerard's little work area there in the middle. And upstairs we have a little balcony here, and we have the landing, the parents' bedroom. This used to be the boys' bedroom. They used to have a bunk bed here, sharing room actually. There's a bathroom here in the middle, and then we have Gracie's bedroom on the side here. And this used to be Vicky's bedroom back when she was living at home. So this is a pretty huge house, and I'm not sure what's going to happen to it once Gracie has moved to university as well. Not sure if Gerard and Trista's going to stay here or not. I mean, they've been living here for many, many years, so maybe they're just going to be here until they can't maintain it anymore. Let's see what happens. taking a look at their pictures. We have back when Edward and Barbara were teenagers, had their first kiss together. A nice family picture. Gerard teaching little Gracie to walk. And of course, then we had this when Jill was flirting with Samuel. And this was when Gracie met John, actually, and they started to flirt with each other. And they had their first kiss here amongst the other teenagers in their age group. And this is the sort of the park lot that's sort of in between the houses. You see the back of it here, actually. And yeah, sweet little cute picture with the parents and Gerard working on his stuff. And then, of course, Trista being the popularity sim that she is, wanting to be everyone's friend. So yeah, that's their family. Continuing down the road, we have the Riley family living in this house. So that is Cooper and Jessica Riley with their youngest kids, Evelyn and Ian, who both were born in-game. But they also have older children. They have Tiffany and Cameron. And of course, Tiffany has a child together with Johnson Lawson, who is called Theodore. So this is the house. It's up on a foundation this time, and similarly to the other houses, so you come in here to a sort of living room area, and it's a separated room for the TV. And then we have the kitchen right here. This goes down into the connected garage. And then they have a back patio here with a hot tub and a grill. And then going upstairs, there's another landing area here, the computer, and then some bedrooms for the children. Cameron only just moved out, so this used to be her bedroom. This one is for Evelyn. And then we have this bedroom on the side for little Ian, and another bathroom, and then the parents' bedroom in here. So we have Cooper working in the education career, so he's going to be the owner of the high school. So he's the high school principal, and he's been that for many years. So I've had a high school principal set up, but not everyone else needs to work in the schools. So I'm excited to actually finally get that moving. And then Jessica is in the journalism career. So she's actually Rip's superior. And well, with both of these guys being romance sims, this is a bit of an unconventional family, I should say. They are looking at their family pictures. We have Tiffany having a first kiss with Rip. And this is back when Evelyn was a toddler. We have the birth of Ian, and he being a toddler. And then Cooper has the music and dance hobby. So this is actually him just enjoying his time at his piano. And well, this is Cooper having an affair with Trista Shaw. So yeah, they have a thing going on. And this is, of course, back when Cameron was babysitting little Faith. Another family picture at the dinner table. Cameron pursuing her interests, and Cooper and Trista being out and about on town as well. Another family picture from the outback, and then Cooper playing some more piano with Ian reading in the background. So Ian appears to be a very studious little boy, so hopefully he'll be a bit calmer than his parents. And yeah, besides Trista, he's also having an affair with Caitlin Goss. So that's fun. A bunch of things going on here on the side. And then Jessica has been seeing Laszlo before he calmed down a bit more. And besides that, I think actually that she hasn't been with anyone else. I think that's only been Cooper and Laszlo. Yeah, only those two. So that's why she wants to find the third sim, actually. She did roll once to go out on dates and meet with Rip, But I called a stop to that because he's been involved with her daughter. That just felt so wrong. So I actually used that mod again to make her see him as family. So that wouldn't be a thing. So yeah, had to nip that one in the bud. But I'm sure that there are other sims that she can meet up with. And so far, Evelyn is actually the only teenager in town that doesn't have a romantic interest yet. So let's see what happens with that. Next up is the Loner family. And I went through them in quite a bit of detail last time, so I don't think I'm gonna linger on them too much. But a few things have happened, of course, since it's been a week since I showed you this last. So the house looks a little different. It's a bit bigger than it was last time. So I have extended it a little bit. Down on ground level, it's still the same, I'm pretty sure, as last time. Only that there's a backyard now with the little playground for the boys. And then if you go upstairs, we have the same landing and bedroom, and everything here is the same. But then to the left, I have extended it out above the garage. So we have one bedroom here, and then a little study in here as well. So the boys are now a little bit older. We have Mitra, the eldest, who's gonna age up today actually to a teenager. Surai, the second son. We have Vihan, the third son. And then we have Harsha, the fourth son. So they actually have only had boys. And Lola is, of course, an alien. But even though that's true, AJ never became pregnant. So it's only been Lola who's been carrying the boys. And she's still working in the law career. AJ obviously still is working in the science career. So I'm at the science facility. Yeah, if we pop into the family album, this is back when they lived in the apartment. Actually, I think that this was AJ's apartment, now that I think about it, because Lola was, of course, living in the collective with the other girls. And he popped the question, and they had the first little boy randomly, the second boy, and yeah, when she was teaching him to walk, Chloe came over and played some music for them. And this was their wedding ceremony. And again, teaching the toddler skills. And then Lola became pregnant a third time and gave birth to another son. And AJ was working on the toddler skills with Lola here in the background playing the guitar. And Mitra's hobby is science. So he has this telescope in his bedroom. And this is a really cute picture. I really love the way that we have Mitra's eyes just poking up above the edge of the teddy bear's head there. Very cute. And then this is the third boy, aged into a toddler. Cute little cuddly picture. And some more toddler skills training. And then Surai's hobby became music and dance, so he has his keyboard in his bedroom. Some nice family pictures here. Boys playing in the playground. And then Lola being pregnant a fourth time, giving birth to another boy. And we have little Vihan looking very bored with the whole thing, you know. Enough kids, mom, I guess is thinking. And I mean, these three boys have been getting along really, really well. And to be honest, this household is very sweet. Every time I come here and just sort of let go of the keyboard and mouse and just let things happen, I end up finding AJ sat in the couch cuddling one of the boys and then moving into the kitchen. I find Lola engaged with the other boys, just playing around and being complete sweethearts, actually. It's really, really cute seeing this family together. And yeah, I can't wait to see the boys as they grow up. And actually, I'm a little bit interested in Vihan and the way that he looks. So if we just take a little look at him in a close-up. Isn't that just one of the most adorable Sims you've ever seen? He is so cute. And I was very surprised when he got those bright blue eyes because, well, of course, Lola and AJ don't have that. Lola's eyes are black and AJ's are brown. But then, of course, I figured it out that he actually got a recessive gene from AJ's younger brother, Blair, because Blair has light blue eyes. So that's why little Vihan got those blue eyes. So that's very cute. Man, the way genetics work in this game is just so amazing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's it for this family. I don't think they want any more kids. I was sort of considering just letting them run with it, but no, I think that this is going to be pretty much enough for them. Next to the loner household, we have the young household, and those are seems to have very recently moved in from the university, actually. So that is Barbara Young and River Young. And they only just got married, actually. So River used to be called Lawson, but now he took on Barbara's last name. So they're both family sims, and I'm sure that this is going to be a very wholesome family again to be playing. Barbara has turned out to be one of my favorite townies, actually, in Strangetown, as I've been playing. So yeah, I look forward to see what's in store for her. She is in the journalism career, and she also wants to write novels. And then we have River, who is currently unemployed, but he aims to become a police officer. So yeah, once again, when I have the active police career, I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun to play with him as well. So this is their house. It's pretty similar to the other ones around them. Again, I've really gone with the same style for this. This one is a little bit more blue and cute, I guess. So we have the bathroom here and a small living room space here. And the kitchen. And upstairs we have this very slim landing. Another bathroom. Their bedroom. And a room for, well, any future children, because I'm sure that they're going to have quite a few kids soon. And then there's some room here to expand the house as well. Pretty sure that I'm going to go out here and, yeah, let's see what else I come up with for the layout of this. So they don't have a lot of pictures in the family album yet, but I have a picture of their first kiss. And of course, Barbara's first kiss with Edward as well. This was back when Barbara lived together with Holly. And this is when they have only just moved in, and Johnson came over to visit his little brother, welcome him to the neighborhood. This is when they got engaged, and this is their wedding. So it was a very small and intimate party, actually, only for their family. So you can see Vidkund and Blair dancing here, while Holly and Kendall are sitting reading in the background. So it was a very calm and nice party overall. And this is just a nice picture of River as he's playing on his guitar, because his hobby is music and dance. And that's pretty much it for these two. And at the end of the road, we have another pretty modern looking house compared to the other ones. It's more similar to the loner household, actually. And this is where we have Abhijit Show. This is where Lawson ended up. And I also have Daisy Anderson living here together with her two twins, Crocus and Harebell. And well, last time you saw Daisy, she lived in the sort of collective house together with her girlfriend Chloe. Well, some things happened that I'll show you later, but long story short, she moved out of that house and moved in together with Abhijit instead, who is another one of her lovers. Taking a look at the house here, we have the entrance coming in here, and then immediately to the left, there's this living room. Then we have a small bathroom here, and the kitchen. And then a garage with a boxing station for Johnson. His hobby is sports. And then actually out at the back, I also have a greenhouse for Abhijit, whose hobby is nature. Back when he lived in an apartment, he actually had sort of like a whole room that was just for potted plants and this sort of garden slots put in plantable pots. So it's nice to actually allow him to have a proper greenhouse finally in this house. Then going upstairs, we have the landing here and another bathroom. This is the bedroom that Abhijit and Daisy are sharing right now. And then this is Johnson's new bedroom. He's all by himself for now. And a few small empty bedrooms. But then we have a bigger bedroom for the twins. And they're only just waking up, looks like. So actually, Crocus has human eyes, but then Harebell has alien eyes. So, of course, these two twins are Daisy's children together with Chloe. And that is one of the things that happened after I made her a little extra fertile after she showed up at the Smith house and drank them out of the house. So, take a look at the family pictures. Actually, first I have the wedding picture of Erin and Johnson here. And then how she got pregnant and they moved in and everything. This is Abhijit hanging out with Jill. This is Johnson hanging out with Tiffany. And then being a good father. This is Abhijit's first date with Daisy, I think. And then, he has been meeting a lot of Sims in the neighborhood. This was the birth of the second child for Johnson. And then when Tiffany showed up and he was kicked out of the house. And then actually what happened was that he moved in with Abhijit, who lived in one of these apartments back then. And I kind of felt bad for him. He was really upset about having lost his wife and having had to move out and everything that happened. So I kind of made him reconcile with Caitlin Goss. Now, Caitlin had been living in the collective for a long while, and she had lived there together with Erin at one point. And back then, when Johnson and Erin were only just getting together, I actively had Caitlin and Johnson agree to just be friends, just because I didn't want her to be secretly together with the husband of one of her closest friends. But after he was kicked out and all of that was in shambles, they reconnected. And what ended up happening was that I took my eyes off them for a while and they ended up in the bedroom. And next time I looked at them, they had decided to try for baby autonomously. And I was like, oh my God, what? And of course she became pregnant from that. So I was like, seriously? So yeah, besides having impregnated Erin and Tiffany, he also knocked up Caitlin. So he has quite a few children now around in the neighborhood. That sort of just happened. And then this is actually when Nero snuck into the apartment, fuming again. And this is Abhijit and Jill's first meeting after she aged up into a young adult. This was when she could finally sink her claws into him and start up something romantic. And this is back when Daisy became pregnant with Chloe, had the twins, and started to train them. And this is in the new house after she has left Chloe, after whatever happened. And this is just a nice picture of Johnson working out, Abhijit and Daisy getting along. And that is sort of where I am in this household now. So the only thing that I'm kind of thinking about right now is about Abhijit's last name, because I think that Shaw is currently the only last name from the pre-made townies that I haven't had continue on to a second generation. So I'm wondering if maybe he'll have kids with Daisy or maybe someone else that he's together with. He has quite a few romantic interests after all, so quite a few things can happen here. So I'm gonna have to see what happens there. So far, he is only aware of having Evan as a kid. Of course, he doesn't know about Cersei's children. And then if you take a look at Johnson's family tree, you can see that he has Fionn and Nuada and Myrn with Erin. But then he also has Theodore with Tiffany, and then also Kaelin with Caitlin. So yeah, he actually has this lifetime wish to marry off 6 children, so maybe there'll be a 6th one down the line. Who knows? And then we have Daisy, who actually would like to fall in love with Bella Goth. So let's see if I can make that happen for her. So she's employed in the culinary career, and I'm actually going to have her work at the elementary school as a chef. And then, of course, we have Johnson in the military career and Abhijit in the medical career. We've already seen them at their jobs. And on the topic of what happened to Daisy, this is the lot that the family that I decided to rename to Desert Rose Collective. So it's a group of girls living together, and as you can see, last time we were here, Daisy was here, of course, but now we have Bella here instead. And Bella used to be married to Crystal Vu. She's no longer married to her, unfortunately. She's back to being called Bella Goth. And, some things have happened. So let's just start by checking out the house. So this has 2 entrances. You can come in from this side, or you can come in from this side. And then here we have the kitchen. The other way we have the living room and a small bathroom here. Outside there's Bella's golf court, a huge greenhouse, and some workout equipment. Going upstairs, we have this landing with Bella's punching bag in the hallway here. This bedroom is Caitlin's, and she has her little son in this room. This is Kaelin. And another bathroom. This one is Bella's and Chloe's bedroom. That used to be Chloe's and Daisy's. But now I have Bella here instead. Another bathroom, and then another bedroom for another baby. And this is little Sander Goth. So that is actually Bella's child together with Chloe. So you might guess what actually happened to switcheroo these little families around. So if you take a look at the family album here, then you can see that Caitlin hung out with Laszlo at the start and another random townie here. And then we have back when Kristen lived together with them. And this is when Daisy got pregnant and had the babies. This is after Caitlin reconciled with Johnson and got pregnant. And this is when Daisy's taking care of the kids. This is after Caitlin has given birth. And then this is when Bella moved in. So basically what happened was that Chloe and Bella had been seeing each other for quite a while. And that was, of course, on the side of her marriage, and it was behind Crystal's back. So they had been pretty careful not to let anything show. But unfortunately, one of the times when they were woohooing, of course, Chloe's a little bit extra fertile as well. She ended up making Bella pregnant. And, obviously, Crystal understood that something had been going on because Crystal has had that treatment that makes her capable of being impregnated by women, but Bella hasn't. So that there were no way that she would have been able to get pregnant with Crystal. So yeah, that ended their long and very sweet relationship, unfortunately. And that was why also Bella moved in here. But of course, there was going to be some jealousy drama going on. So that was why I decided that, okay, while the kid is this young, Chloe is going to have to step up and take care of Bella and the baby. And Daisy can move on to other romantic interests in the meantime. So I'm going to have to see what happens if they are eventually going to move back together or what I can come up with. But that's how things stand right now. So, of course, Bella was employed in the medical career, and that's still the same position that she was a week ago when we last met her, so nothing has changed there. Caitlin is in the military career, and then we have, of course, Chloe in the natural scientist career, so she was working at the science facility. And yeah, her lifetime wish is actually to marry off 6 children. So far she has 3 kids. So that's why I'm also kind of thinking that, she's had this sort of mental breakdown and these natural urges that she can't really control. So if I do have one of my female Sims get abducted, female Sims don't naturally get impregnated by, the in-game alien. So what I'm kind of thinking is that they're actually gonna be impregnated by Chloe if that happens. So I'm gonna have to see if I have any science-interested Sims who could potentially get abducted. So that would be an interesting storyline to carry out as well. But then it's also interesting that Daisy wanted to fall in love with Bella because she's now also together with her girlfriend. So this could be a sort of 3-way kind of thing going on if I can get that to work somehow as well. And yeah, I of course hadn't planned for Caitlin to get pregnant again. That was really unexpected, but it was fun also because then I can have the Goth last name continue on in some way as well. So that actually worked out better than expected. So now that you know what happened to Bella, then you can also learn about what happened to Crystal. And she's living here in the Beaker castle together with Cersei. So yeah, that's what kind of happened after Bella was exposed and they broke up. Crystal very quickly started to see Cersei instead. And that's actually something that I mentioned in the previous video as well, that I think that Cersei would be fascinated with the fact that Crystal can get impregnated by other women. So, of course, she was very interested in pursuing something with her. And yeah, they have since actually even gotten married. So they are now living here together with both of Cersei's kids, Atom and Ceres, and also Crystal and Bella's kids, and that is Beryl and Amber. So there's quite a few children in this house now, so I had to extend it a little bit, not to put them down in the basement. So this is what it looks like when you come in. So we have the kitchen here in this corner. And then the living room. And then here we have a bathroom on the side. And then also like a sciencey room here with the glassed-in parts here. So quite a bit of things to work with. And then, of course, this is the secret passageway down to the cellar that we took quite a detailed look at last time. So you've already seen this one. So that hasn't been used at all since Loki died, actually. So I'm not sure that Cersei even knows about this, to be honest. So it might be something that one of the kids might stumble upon eventually. We'll have to see. Then coming up here, this is the small bathroom in the same place as normal. And then this is the bedroom for little Beryl. And here I have the bedroom for Cersei and Crystal. There's a bathroom in here. And then this is the toddler bedroom for little Amber. And then I actually had to extend the house up here. So I added another floor up here. So this bedroom is for Ceres. And then I have Atom at the other end here. And then eventually they're going to have a small bathroom here as well, but they couldn't afford it yet, so I'm going to have to sit on my hands a bit. That is what the house looks like now. So we take a look at the photo album here. We went through quite a bit of it last time, I think, at least Nero's story in it all. So this is when they were locked into the basement. This is Cersei teaching Atom to talk. This is, of course, when Loki was defeated in the basement and Nero met his father. And Cersei was completely oblivious to all this. She just was happily teaching her children to walk and everything. They grew up, none the wiser that their father wasn't actually Loki. And this is when Erin came over to visit. So she's been actually reconnecting a lot with this family after Loki passed away. So she's been coming over and getting closer with the children that she thinks are her brothers. And Cersei has been keeping on teaching them skills, and Atom has actually even started to train on this, like making medicine and such. And she's also been trying to teach Ceres, but she's just been laughing it off so far. And this is, of course, the story of Bella and Crystal before everything happened, and the unfaithfulness and the pregnancies, and she eventually being kicked out. And then Crystal got together with Cersei. So this is in the apartment, and they also had some dates over here. And then Cersei ended up popping the question at the community lot. I actually had to have Cersei do it because she hasn't fallen in love with Crystal. So I think that for Cersei, this is really just in part of loneliness. She really loves having a partner around, but also out of morbid curiosity and the will to, experiment and try things with genetics, how those kinds of things work. And she wants to use Crystal, basically. But let's see if she will also fall in love eventually. And they had a private ceremony up on the balcony here in the sunset, actually, the other day. So they just did it privately. No one was invited. It was just for the two of them. And that's how things are right now for this family. So I'm pretty sure that Crystal is actually pregnant. So I'm looking forward to having a child with these two soon as well. Next, we have the Curious household. And this is actually with all the towers visible as well. I don't think I showed that last time. So last time we were here, actually both Pascal and Laszlo lived together, but Laszlo has since moved out, moved in together with his wife. So right now I just have Pascal and his husband Tallinn living here. This is their bedroom. And then their little boy, who was just a baby, I think, when I showed you this last. This little Radian, Curious. This is his bedroom. It used to be Laszlo's. And then I have Luna here in this bedroom. Still the bathroom here in the middle, and then the kitchen area. And I think last time I had some computers set up here in the same style that it was from the start, but I changed that out for a sofa. I felt like that made more sense. And this used to be a sort of a greenhouse, but that was mostly for Laszlo. So now I changed it out to something that these guys would actually use. So this is Pascal's easel. His hobby is arts and crafts. And then this is Tallinn's workstation because his hobby is tinkering. And then Luna has started to sit here and write on her novels. So if we take a look here at their family album. This was back when Pascal just gave birth to little Luna and started to teach her to walk and training her to talk as well. This is when Tallinn proposed, and when Pascal was pregnant with his baby, gave birth to little Radian and started to teach him to walk as well. And this is a very cute little picture of him in his little dinosaur outfit. And this is a gorgeous picture of Luna. I don't know what happened, but she just turned out really, really stunning. I think that Pascal's genetics are actually really, really nice. So I think that might be why. I get a little bit obsessed sitting and looking at her actually, because she's really a stunning sim. I can't wait to see what she will look like when she's an adult. And this is when she started to flirt with Jesse. And this is a party that she hosted for the other teenagers as well, with her stepdad sitting awkwardly eating pizza in the corner there. And they hung out a bit as well. And this is from last time I played, when she was lying out at the rooftop stargazing together with Jesse. And very soon after that, she actually asked to go steady, and he said yes. So they're now actually also going steady. So yeah, Pascal is a science teacher, and he's going to be the science teacher in the high school, actually, moving forward. And Tallinn is an executive chef. I don't remember if I put him also in the school kitchen. Did I? Yes, I did. So he's gonna cook actually for the high school kids. So I think I'm actually gonna pop him down to level 6 again. Probably. Yeah. So I think that he's gonna, say that enough is enough, and he wants a more calm life. His ambitions aren't that high for excelling further in his career. He would rather stay close to home and work at the local high school. I think that's going to be what I do with him. And yeah, Luna is actually the oldest of my born in-game sims, because she was born straight off the bat as soon as I started to play this family. So yeah, once she gets to university, I'm actually going to have my real first generation starting to age up properly. So that's going to be weird. But I also really look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of Laszlo, this is the house where he has ended up. This is the house that he shares with his wife, Ophelia Nigmus. And his name is now actually also Laszlo Nigmus, because I wanted that last name to continue on as well. So this is a very old and traditional house that I very recently built for them. It's supposed to mimic the style of the Spectre house, actually, that Olive used to live in. I know that the last time I made the hood tour, I mentioned that they were going to move into a very high-tech house, and that was my vision for them. I even actually built a house like that, and I absolutely hated it. I don't know what I did wrong with that house, but it just became atrocious, and I tried for a very long time to actually make it work and try to renovate it back and forth a few times, and yeah, it never ended up feeling right. So I ended up just moving them out, scrapping the whole house completely, and made this completely different style instead. And I'm so happy that I did, because this feels so much better. And I guess that I just needed to get Ophelia back to her roots or something. So yeah, we have this front lawn with a lot of nice plants. And coming into the house is just a one-level house for now, with the entrance area here. Then to this side is the kitchen. And with a bathroom in this corner. Then this huge room is the children's bedroom. So it's for their kids that they have so far, and that's Viola and Benvolio. So let's see if they need to squeeze in more kids eventually. And then this is their master bedroom with another bathroom here. And this is the living room. And then out back, they have this patio area with a greenhouse for Laszlo as well. And then there's a garage as well with a nice old car for them. So yeah, so far they've had 2 kids, but I kind of envisioned them to have a bunch of them, actually. Ophelia is in the music career, and I think I'm going to maintain that for her. I feel like she has that star quality that's needed. And I want to continue working on that for her. And Laszlo is, of course, employed in the science career as from the start. So we take a look at their pictures. Then this is back when they first started dating, when Ophelia was still at university. This is a nice picture of the brothers together having dinner. And this is back when Laszlo was more wild and secondary romancy with his fling with Caitlin Goss. And this is a nice old picture of them when they first started to get together. And this is when he popped the question over at his old greenhouse. And this is their wedding at the house that I scrapped later. And this is another wedding picture from that same house. There was a sort of built-in greenhouse inside of the house for some reason. And they had a nice cozy wedding. And then Ophelia got pregnant for the first time and gave birth. And that's actually the pictures that I have of them so far. So I guess I'm going to have to take some more nice family pictures in this new house that they're going to grow into. So I'm not sure actually if I'm going to build downwards or upwards in this house. It's possible that I'm going to add in a cellar instead eventually. So yeah, I'm going to see what I come up with for this house. And of course, next to the Nigas family, we have the Spectre household, which is actually the final household in Strangetown itself. And we have this amazingly overgrown and flooded garden here and out on the road even. I wonder what's going on here. Could it be ghosts maybe? So yeah, all of the graves are still here. So of course the ghosts are wreaking havoc here in the lawn. And this is the house that I've actually finally taken the time to renovate. So have some nice broken windows here and boarded up windows in this abandoned house. Nothing at all going on in here. And if we take a look inside, this is what it looks like. So this is the sort of entrance hall and dining hall. To this side, there's the living room. Have a little workout room and office and a bathroom in here. And then the kitchen is over here. And then another bathroom. And then this is the room that Nero shares with his new pet, Grimalkin. Now, Grimalkin is one of the classic pets that you can adopt. And for me, it was no question what pet he would get. It was always going to be Grimalkin. There's no other perfect pet that I think he could have. And that was actually necessary because Nero, living here alone, became extremely lonely and sad and needed to have a companion. This time, no one had to be kidnapped for that to happen. He could actually just adopt a dog. So that was a good improvement, I think. And I've been playing a little bit differently with Nero. For one thing, if he has been floating around, befriend or meeting people around town on community lots and such, I actually go ahead with the sim blender and remove those relationships when I play him. So right now, he actually only knows Grimalkin, his daughter Faith, Genesis, and also Abhijit, whose apartment he just randomly floated into for some reason. So I figured that Abhijit he would also know. Don't know where I'm going to go with that storyline, but I guess something's going to have to happen with that. And then, as I mentioned, I can't remove relationship with pets, so whatever pet he meets, he's going to remember. I guess the dogs never forget. So what I've been doing with Nero, actually, is having him in the natural science career as an ecological guru. And I also have the job outfit Stoppinator, so he won't change into that outfit that they used to have. But what I'm trying to get at, having him in that career, is having him visually go away sometimes and actually flying away. So whenever he is going to work, he just sort of walks out here and takes off flying. And same thing when he comes back from work, he sort of lands very dramatically here in front of the house. So that's sort of the visual effect that I've been going for. And in my mind, he's been going out supervising the world around him. He being the Grim Reaper's son, I guess that he can see things that others can't. He can affect things in some ways and maybe make bad things happen to bad people in some ways. So that's sort of the story I've been going so far. And what I have been working on for him is that he wants to max out 7 skills. And the problem that he's had is that from his upbringing, his skills were completely drained. He didn't have any not skills, his personality was completely drained. So everything was at 0 except for his active points that was maxed out. So what I've been doing is that trying to make him max out the skills, and as soon as he has maxed out the skill, I will restore one of his personality points to what it originally was. So you can see that his used to be extremely sloppy, but now he's back to being full neat. And then next time he maxes out the skill, which I guess is going to be logic, then I'm going to make him 1 shy as well. And then moving on until all his personality points are back to normal, basically. So that is what I've been working on for him. But I'm also kind of trying to figure out what else to do with him. So taking a look at his family album, we have this old picture of when Olive passed away and had to go to the afterlife very reluctantly. And this is the old picture from the basement, all of that has been going on. And this is back when Nero first moved into this house. So this is him sitting very dramatically playing chess against himself. But I kind of imagine that he's sitting here and even though he's invisible, his father is actually also sitting in the other chair playing a game of chess with him, if you will. This was back when he adopted Grimalkin. And this is actually Loki. So as I mentioned in the previous video, when Nero moved away from the Beaker household, he brought Loki's urn with him. So Loki is actually buried in this graveyard here, and he's showing up sometimes as a very angry yellow ghost. And this is when Nero is returning from work. So as I said, looks very dramatic and nice. And this is again when he floated into Abhijit's apartment randomly, when he reconnected with Genesis, met his daughter for the first time. And this is actually when she snuck over to his place for the first time. So she ended up going here all on her own, showing up uninvited. And he sat down with her in the living room talking to her about ghosts, with Grimalkin lying down and showing his bone right next to them. So it was a very cute scene. So what I want to happen for this family is that eventually, hopefully, Faith is gonna end up moving in with him instead. That's what I'm aiming for. And possibly going for a storyline where Genesis isn't able to connect properly with her because of everything that happened around her birth, and the new father that's not really getting along with her, and her getting sort of forgotten, what with a new baby in the house. Maybe she's gonna want to come over here instead, so that would be interesting to see how that would work. And I'm also hoping that eventually Nero is gonna work up enough reward points so he can get the dog bowl for Grimalkin, so that he can actually, maybe I can. Yeah, I can already do it. Kibble of Life, yeah. So this I'm actually gonna get for Grimalkin, so that Grimalkin can stay young forever. Yeah. And I'm also gonna have to figure out how Nero is gonna age. Because technically he's not really living and he's not really dead either, so yeah. That's also something I'm gonna have to figure out. So let me know if you have any nice ideas. All right, so that was actually the last family. So let's pop back into the neighborhood. All right, so I wanted to show you sort of the path that we've been going through, the different families. I started out, of course, with the 88 Road to Nowhere, the community lot. And then we had the Curious family and the science facility. the Walton family and the hospital, and then the Grant family and the military base. After that, it was the Howe family down here, the Toronto family, and then the Lost family. After that was Smith, and then I had the 3 families in this apartment complex. Next, I had the 2 families in this apartment complex. Then we had the Beaker household, Macaulay, and then it was Shaw, Aritz, Riley, Loner, Young, Shaw, and Lawson, technically. And then I have the Desert Rose Collective. And then we got to the outskirts of things. So we had the Beaker family, Curious, Nigas, and Spectre. And that is the whole town as it looks right now. But that is not everything. Of course, I also have La Fiesta Tech, so let's move over there as well. So last time I showed you this, I had only renovated and made use of this Fiesta Hall dorms. But things look a little bit different now. You can see that these 2 houses, the fraternity and the sorority, have been renovated. And I have actually started to play with them a little bit. And it's all thanks to this genius Tumblr post that I read and got really inspired by to actually pursue life at university a little bit more than I had in the past. And there's actually one mod that made that all possible, because the problem that I've had in the past when trying to play at university is that time is passing on community lots, and that hasn't allowed me to actually make use of them properly, because I like to have a lot of sims in the same households, and then I can't take them one by one out on the community lots. And yeah, it's all been a bit messy, really. So I've not wanted to use community lots at all in the university hoods, and that sort of removed a big part of what's fun about them, I think. So yeah, I've gone ahead and actually added that mod that stops the progression of time on university community lots. That's a godsend. I really love that mod. It's working like a charm. And that has actually allowed me also to renovate this Shallow Valley library that I have been sending my sims to and playing with. So in part, I've been pushing them to join the fraternity and sorority. And I've also started to play with those families that were already in those houses. And yeah, started to move them out of the dorm a little bit as well. So that's been really fun to explore. Let's start by popping into the library, and I can show you what that looks like. So here we have the outside of the library, and well, the layout of it looks exactly the same as it did from the start, but it's a bit spruced up. And taking a look inside, this is what it looks like when they come in. So this is the sort of cafe area where they can order some food and some coffee and sit down here and have a snack while they are studying. And then there's this little area for comfort as well. And then there's a lecture hall in here that's meant for science. So this is the opportunity pack, Sophie David's opportunity pack with the science, the science journal. And then going this way, there's another lecture hall in here, and this is more for drama and other topics. So this is the orator's epic. And actually, the funny thing is that when I've played on this lot, my own sims have been spawning in to host the lectures. And the first sims that this pack picks is actually Ophelia Nigmus. And this one always picks Vidkund Curious. So that's really funny that they are ending up here holding lectures. That's been really funny to see. And then upstairs, I have some seating here for just studying. And then, a bunch of bookcases and some Monique's hacked computers as well. So this is what I use for, allowing them to study. And then there's some bathrooms here as well. And then out back, there's just this sort of nice fountain area. I removed the grill, of course, because I didn't think it made sense that there was a grill out here. But instead, of course, there's this food court area that they can eat at. So yeah, this has been really fun to use now that I can finally use community lots at the university. So I look forward to renovating the others as well. So if we start by looking at the fraternity, this is the Oresha Hovar fraternity. And this is one of the pre-made fraternities of La Fiesta Tech. So this is the way that I have renovated the lot. Going down here, we have the entrance hall with a lot of random stuff that they have stolen or taken. And then we have sort of a extended hallway here with some more decorative things. And in here, there's this dining room with a bar as well, and the kitchen, and a small bathroom on the side. And going to the opposite side, we have the sort of the playroom where they host a lot of fraternity parties. With some music and drinks and the bubble blower and things. So this was, I think, one of the only things that I kept from the original build, the exact thing, this bubble blower and also this cake stand. Another bathroom. And then going upstairs, we have this landing area and then some bedrooms. So this is enough room for 8 Sims to sleep in. We have 2 double beds and then single beds for everyone else. And then in the middle here is a boys' bathroom. So the guests can use the bathrooms downstairs, and this is just for the fraternity boys with showers and things. And then just out back there's a grill and not much else. So the only one of my Sims living here is Buck Grant. So he has actually moved here now, joined the fraternity only just, and he's in the economics major. And he has the romance secondary, actually. So he still is in love with his old boyfriend, Amin Walton, but being secondary romance, I think that he's interested to meet other people and see what other fish there are out in the sea. So gonna have to see what happened with those two eventually. Then, of course, we have Matthew Hart, who is one of the fraternity boys that's part of this household from the start. He's a family sim, also in the economics major. And I think, I haven't had the chance to give him secondary yet. I've only just been able to give Mickey the secondary, apparently, and Guy, I still can't do that. So Guy is popularity sim, and he's been hitting it off really well with Vicky Aritz. So he's the reason why Vicky and Tank aren't an item anymore, because Vicky and Guy hit it off so well. And last time I played, they actually had 3 bolts of attraction. Now they only have 2. I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess I'll have to have them meet again, and all of a sudden they'll realize how attracted they are to each other. Matthew used to be together from the start with Sarah Love, but they are just friends now. So I'm actually looking into pursuing some other relationship for him, possibly. Gonna have to see how that works out. And then Mickey is a romance sim, so he's been seeing Jessie Pilferson, who's a sorority girl, and he's also actually been hitting it off with Tiffany Riley. And I think he has his eyes set on Jill Smith as well, so gonna have to see what happens with that. Yeah, so he's in the art major, and Matthew was in the economics, and then we have a guy who is in the literature major. And he's actually off at class right now. And I don't think I have any photos yet, no. So that is yet to come, but I feel like I don't really need to take that many photos on campus. Maybe I do eventually, but I think that it makes more sense when they're actually back in the neighborhood. So that was the fraternity, and let's move over to the sorority. So this is the Trifrum sorority building, or however you pronounce it. So there's some nice statues at front here, portraying important women, I guess. So I felt like that made sense in a sorority building. And going in here, we have the entrance. Nice little bathroom for guests. And then we have the women's bathroom with showers down here. And then a little hallway leading into the kitchen. And of course they have pizza because for some reason the sororities and fraternities always have pizza no matter what happens. And then there's this living room in here with some kegs as well. And another small bathroom. And of course they had a pool from the start out back, so that's the same. And a little grill as well. And then going upstairs, this is where I have the rooms. So there's a little art station here, but nothing much else at the landing. And then there's the rooms for the girls. So some of them share rooms, and then there's some lucky few who get the double beds, of course. And here I can see we have Jill Smith sitting chatting with Jesse Pilferson. I think that I wanted them to become close because they both are romance sims and actually the exact same age as well. So yeah, I have Jill Smith having moved in here, and she's an art major now, and I don't remember if I gave her a secondary aspiration. Yeah, I did. Popularity. And she's talking with Jessie Pilferson, who is a pre-made sorority girl. And she is in the psychology major. And her secondary is also popularity. So I think she's going to be pretty similar to Jill, actually. We have DJ Verse, who is currently at class. Hers is the literature major. And she is the secondary knowledge sim. And she's actually a pretty interesting sim because basically everything about her is just about her being a DJ. So I look forward to both make some sort of active career for her down the line, that I can have her come over and be the DJ at some clubs or something if I start it up in Strangetown. But also to sort of expand her character a little bit, because now it's literally just about her being a DJ. So I'm going to see about that. Then we have Monica Bradford, who is also one of the pre-made sorority girls, a knowledge sim and a secondary fortune sim. And she's in the art major, and actually also her hobby is arts and crafts. So that makes sense. And I think that she's on the lot, actually. I think she's just driving. Yeah, here she is. That's what she looks like. And yeah, then we have also, of course, Vicky Aurowitz in the political science major. She's a fortune sim, and her secondary is romance. So yeah, it might be that she goes back to tank, who knows? Apparently she's attracted to this llama figure as well. And then the last sorority girl is Sarah Love, who is at class right now. She's a biology major, and her secondary aspiration is pleasure. As I mentioned, she used to be close with Matthew, but now she actually has set her eyes on Samuel Aurowitz, but he is also involved with Jill. So she's been seeing him. She's also, of course, been seeing Abhijit and also Rip Grunt. So those are the three love interests that she has so far. So we're going to have to see how long things last with Samuel, because he's not a romance sim, so if he finds out about her seeing other guys, I think he's going to be pretty angry, actually. Then maybe that's an opening for Sarah to try her luck as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. So let's move over to the dorms as well. So this is the final building that I'll be showing you, and I actually went through this building in quite a lot of detail last time. So I think I can actually start by just checking out the sims here. We have Amin Walton, who is the eldest of the Walton boys, and is also together with Buck Grunt. This poor guy wants to get engaged to him, not really knowing that Buck has other ideas. So let's see what happens with that. He's a pleasure sim with an undeclared major so far. So I'm kind of waiting to see what path he wants to take. Then we have Cameron Riley, who's also very recently just moved in here. Also undeclared major, and the younger sister of Tiffany, of course, who's also here at the lot. So this is Tiffany, and she's only just finishing up her senior year, and she's here, of course, with her little son, Theodore, who she gave birth to and has taken care of here in her dorm room. So this is all Theodore's toddler stuff. And he is on his way to aging up as well. So he's gonna be a child pretty much when she ages into an adult. So that's very interesting. And she ended up majoring in history. And her secondary aspiration is family, though. So she's gonna want to have more kids, I guess. But she wants to become a visionary. So she has some career dreams as well that I think she might pursue. We have David Shaw, who is also only just finishing up his senior year. He is a family sim with a biology major, and his dream is to marry off 6 children. So another one of those. He wants to have a bunch of kids. And his secondary is pleasure. So yeah, I'm gonna have to see. Maybe this is a potential someone who could be employed in the education career as well. I have to see. Then we have Edward Aritz, who is together with Tina Andrews, and they're engaged to be married. So yeah, he's a family sim as well. So I have no doubt that as soon as he's done, he's going to want to move in together with her and pursue their relationship, really. So his secondary is romance, though. So he really wants to get out there and do some fun stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see. I guess he might be one of those hopeless romantic types that really loves his wife. And he wants to have 6 grandchildren, so a little bit different, but still a lot of kids stuff there. I have Kana Shaw, who's also a new freshman. And she is a popularity sim with an undeclared major as well. So I'm kind of figuring out what she wants, but I know that she loves painting, so that might be something. And then we have Kendall, who also is finishing up her senior year, and she wants to get engaged to Blair Loner. So she's in love with him, and I'm pretty sure that that's just what's gonna happen once she's done. She's gonna move out there and move in with him probably immediately. She's an art major, and her secondary aspiration is romance. So quite a few of those, actually. Then I have Samuel Auerwitz, who actually has a locked-in want to major in biology, so I'm probably going to give him that, although he's undeclared for now. He has the fortune aspiration, and so far has just been seeing Jill Smith, but let's see what happens. He has also 2 bolts with Sarah Love, so that's also a potential love interest. Yeah, those are actually all of the sims. I feel like I've been talking for days. But I hope you enjoyed seeing all of these sims and what's been happening since last time. I actually wanted to just finish this off by showing you my spreadsheet because I've been doing things a little bit differently for my university than I've done in Pleasantview. So if we take a look at this is the tab that I use for the university. And basically what I'm doing is dividing everyone's money to make sure that everyone has a starting capital when they are done. So if I unhide the ones that are already done, you can see that for Johnny Smith, for example, his base was 500, and that is the same for all sims. They all get 500 sort of from the game as soon as they move to university. That's just what happens. Then I've been adding in any scholarships that they have. Johnny didn't have any, so he got 0. Then I'm keeping careful note of what money they get after each term is done. So he got 800 from term 1, 1,100 from term 2, 800 term 3, and 1,200 from term 4. Then while he had been having this in his bank account, it had been generating a little bit of extra interest. Don't remember why it's so low. It might be that I didn't keep track of everything perfectly or something, but he only got 100 extra. So his total was 4,500. And they actually have a formula here that just combines everything automatically. It just pulls all of these cells into a total and shows that total here. So that's pretty easy to do. So that's the same thing that I'm doing for all of the active sims, and as soon as I'm done with them, I'm marking them gray to know that they are done. So, and that's something that I've been doing when I have moved them out. I have emptied their bank accounts and removed all money from the household, moved them out, and then in the family bin, I have used the family funds sheet to give them money whenever possible, or I have been moving them into apartment lots and then giving them the money with sheets in that lot. So there's different ways of doing it, basically. Yeah, that's been very interesting and has made things a lot more easy to keep track of while I've been playing this. And something else that's a bit fun to take a look at, I think, is the statistics for this neighborhood. So you can see that the population is pretty big already. I have around 100 sims, I think. Yeah, 107. So it's quite a few. And the pattern so far right now is that there's been a lot of boys born. So I'm going to have to see if the girls make a comeback eventually. Otherwise, I might have to force it. And I also have a breakdown of what careers they have in this neighborhood. So surprisingly, actually, most sims have the medicine career. One would think it might be military or science, but nope, it was actually medicine. So that's interesting. And then I can see the breakdown also of the hair colors my sims have, the eye colors, skin colors, and so on. So that's pretty fun. It's a bit different from Pleasantview and also downtown, actually, when I take a look at this, what this looks like. So that's nice with variation. Light blue eyes is very prevalent in Strangetown compared to the other neighborhoods, which is interesting. And then, of course, I have also the aspirations and the hobbies here, so that's nice. Quite a lot of film and literature sims actually popping up in this neighborhood. But I've been randomizing all hobbies for them with dice, so that's just sort of how it happened. A lot of film and literature and also nature and arts and crafts, actually. So science, not so much, actually. And surprisingly, tinkering is the least popular, so that's normally not the case. Yeah, so that was pretty much what I wanted to show you. So I wanted to thank you for hanging out with me and checking out my neighborhood. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and let me know if you'd like to see a part 3 eventually when I am done with the 3rd week, starting up the 4th week, and hopefully have some more storylines to show you. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!